Hello and welcome to the back nine of our round one feature card at the LWS Open at Idlewild. Presented by Dynamic Disc and the Natty, this is our 13th stop on the Disc Golf Elite Series for the Pro Tour. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two Wakis.
Honk.
Honk.
Idlewild is a tough, wooded, hilly, fun, devastating track that we all love.
Every hole can be birdied or tripled. So we had a pretty rough front nine with our lead card, although it doesn't look that way when you check out these scorecards. I wouldn't call it
rough.
We struggled a little bit.
They're under par.
They're under par, all of them. Holyn Handley, look at her, 3 under par. We just had a struggle bus finish hole, and that stuck with me.
Okay, yeah, that's unfortunately human nature. Valerie Manujano leading the way at 5 down. I did look up scores from last year, so keep in mind they have made at least 3 different holes easier, so it's going to play 2 to 3 strokes easier, but the best score last year is a 3 down.
Wow.
Hole 10, sorry, I'm just going to do this now.
Yep.
Hole 10 is a par 3. It's an uphill 368 feet. Foot par 3 that no one ever reaches. You might get a circle 2 look for a birdie, but it's just kind of one of those ones. I think it averages usually like, it's an exact tweener.
I feel like right when you say no one's going to birdie it, Missy Gannon hears it from the woods and she's
my God.
like, what did you say?
Did she get it today?
No.
You're right. She probably did hear it.
Yeah, this is a challenging uphill tee shot. But I feel like if they would just drop the basket back like 30 feet, it could be a really awesome FPO hole. But instead we do, like Erika said, have a tweener hole.
Yeah, and you see Holyn trying to get really aggressive there, and she's going to be early right. She's going to struggle just to get bogey from there. Catrina also pulls it right, but she's far enough to save par. Really, what you see most of the time is people just throw kind of like a chill, straight shot and just try to get past kind of that, I don't know, that gap that's like 2/3 of the way up there to the right of where Macie's disc is. And then it's a pretty easy par.
Finishing to the left at the end, I think, is a little bit better than finishing to the right.
I agree.
It walls up pretty bad, guarding the green. So if you are going to get aggressive, you just don't want to finish right. You can see Owen really shying away from the right side of the fairway.
Yeah, you don't usually see the sidearm off the tee. That's an interesting play.
Almost never.
Holyn looking like she's trying to get all the way to the pin here.
Oh, using every bit of that height, but sadly tickling some branches and dropping down at the bottom of the hill, about, I would say, 80 feet away, maybe a little less.
On with this Halo Destroyer going flex sidearm. Okay, good, it sat. What an intense shot that is. Just like full Destroyer rip in the woods.
It's crazy to watch her throw these shots. Everyone is usually throwing a lot slower discs.
Crazy fun.
Crazy fun.
Catrina, looks like that one came out a little bit early, and she's going to drop to a similar spot, I think, as Holyn.
This played as the 5th most difficult hole of the day because of lack of birdies. You can see where everyone's throwing their second shots from.
Yeah, Macie actually got really nicely up there and has a pretty easy upshot.
Nobody got to circle 2 in regulation, and there were no birdies on the day. Bummer, but not surprising at all.
I mean, what? There's only like 3 holes out here that are kind of unbirdieable.
Yep.
And then the rest are very fair and gettable.
Everyone on my card got 3s, and we were all jazzed.
Stoked.
We were one of the only cards that did that, I bet.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Catrina lays up her 3rd. Going to put her over par for the round.
60% of the field getting a par.
Yes, Owen. Great save.
Yep, Owen one of them. 40% getting a bogey or worse. Macie with a pretty no-nonsense par here on the 10th.
Yeah, but she snuck through that left side. Like, that's the thing about Idlewild. Very quickly, you can just catch one tiny tree, kick into the woods, and then all of a sudden you're struggling. Look, average is 3.5.
Yep, this is one of those bogeys that you just got to make yourself okay with sometimes.
Cool putt, slow-mo.
Yeah.
Holyn leading our feature card at 2 down. She is tied for 4th with quite a few people at 2 down. Valerie and Madison still doing the thing.
Whew. Hole 11, shortest hole in the course, 192. It's a par 3, but look at these narrow gaps. You're throwing across a low-lying area to this elevated basket perched on a little flattened green. That wall can be brutal if you hit it coming in low. You can very easily pick up and roll backwards down the hill and have a 60-foot uphill putt.
This hole is just good fun.
Mm-hmm. It feels like, when you learn to play disc golf, like good old disc golf.
Just good old-fashioned fun.
Ooh, Macie taking the right side.
I know Owen often plays that side too, but usually it's more of a low skip shot you see on the right.
I know we've seen people do it while we were commentating in years prior, but
yeah,
I feel like it's like a little bit, the gap is smaller this year. I looked at it.
Honestly, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Something about it looked more sketchy, I feel like, than in years prior.
Okay. I mean, but if you hit the gap and skip literally anywhere, you will have
a putt.
Yeah. So I get the appeal, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so satisfying to go for the straight shot that I'd rather do that.
I agree.
Holyn tries to stand still and it comes out pretty early. She's in that ditch. It's a casual ditch. No OB in there.
This plate is the easiest hole of the day, and that's largely due to the ease of scrambling, regardless of where you land.
Man, no one putting. And Catrina actually going to have a tough time over there, most likely.
Yeah, I was going to say
she's
that's
all the way
hardest
back
place.
to the green of 10.
Wow, that was such a nasty kick.
She's going to have to try to throw something really stable and probably get some ground play to get up there. And she does exactly that. Wow.
Very well executed.
Surprising not to see a single person get through to get a putt on the feature card. This is sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Owen with a perfect approach.
Yeah, really good. This is one of the few holes on tour or in general that you can kind of ace run with like the straight putter shot and still have a putt for birdie. Like often an ace is not a great shot, right? Oh no!
Oh, the wall.
All right, Holyn getting a mean roll, but checks up.
So steep uphill on this comeback putt. Yeah, there's kind of a backboard behind the basket, like Erika said, where you can be really aggressive and just go straight for the chains.
Yeah, it's a scary putt coming back, but there aren't very many holes that you can just like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a run from the tee.
Macie just laying up.
Catrina trying to save par. What a scramble.
Wow.
I feel like no one's ever worked harder on hole 11. Like, that was impressive.
That was like a top 5 scramble of the year.
Yeah. 192-foot hole. But for real, like, she was in a terrible position off the tee with that kick.
She played it perfect.
Really.
Trying to get a flare skip on that like type of a slope.
So difficult.
So weird. Very impressive.
The old slopes of Idlewild, only rivaled by D-Glow.
We're just warming up, baby.
Dang, no birdies. That's crazy. Did you already say how many people birdied that hole? I forget.
I did not. 53% of the field.
Yeah, that's why we're so shocked.
Yep, easiest hole of the day. With 60% getting to circle 1 in regulation and 75 getting to circle 2. Whew.
Hole 12 is very different from years past. The tee shot is essentially the same, though it's 564 feet. A sidearm or gentle turnover backhand with a putter or mid-range is good. You see this mandatory on the left and a drop zone if you miss it. Usually we were going out and around to the right where the pin was close to the next tee pad. Now they cut down approximately 1,000 trees in here to create kind of a new fairway and green. It's definitely still rough. I heard that they cut these down on like Sunday with like a fleet of people and equipment. Sidearm is a great play. Did she miss the mandatory though, or did she make it?
She made it, but
just barely. Honestly, playing like the old hole and just going down the right side and out and around is a great play for par. The gaps are so little in the woods, and it's still just kind of a rough hole. I think it will be good later, but it's just like pretty unpolished right now.
Yeah, and it's sad. I loved the old hole. It was one of my favorite holes in disc golf.
I liked it too, but there were so many less backups today because of this. Because you used to have to wait for 13 to tee off. I think it's smart.
Sad Eeyore, yeah.
Yeah. Catrina kicks right. It is brutal over there.
If you throw two straight and make the Mando or just push straight where there used to be a bunch of bushes, it can be tough to get to the green. The gap over there is really small. They definitely were not friendly with their newly created gap.
Yeah, it's a pretty... You have to be about 5 feet in front of the drop zone. And then it's like an 8-foot gap?
Yeah, they're kind of, you can tell they're forcing you to take the old route like you would to the original basket, just shortening the hole up a bit.
I hope they clear out a real line.
Yeah. We haven't quite got to see that new gap that we're talking about. Everyone's kind of chopping up the inside short of the fairway.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like anything right now.
No, we're still playing the old hole.
What's happening? I mean, normally in the old hole, though, you would be going at a 90-degree angle to where Catrina just threw, if that helps anyone.
Right,
you would be going towards that, like, 2 trees over on the right side normally.
Yep, this used to be...
Oh, here's the gap.
Yeah, this used to be death on the old hole. Now you can see that the gap's, 8 feet wide?
That's what I said, but I think it's a little bigger than that.
It feels like 7.
Yeah, okay. It's probably actually, like, 12.
It's very narrow. But once you get through that, it's pretty friendly.
Yeah, it opens up a lot.
There's some guardian trees, but nothing really to worry about.
Yeah, I think just widen that gap just a couple more feet, and it would be a solid hole.
So Catrina's really close to that gap.
I literally heard multiple people say that this course played faster than it ever has.
Yeah.
I think that staff did a really good job thinking about, what to do and how to change things to make it efficient and still fun to play.
Yeah, we definitely did not have a single backup today, which is crazy.
Unbelievable. Then the men, too, which they usually have a million. Owen with a great layup on her third puts it to about 18 feet for a par look. Macie for birdie.
Wow.
Sweet birdie.
This is one I think that we will see birdies elevate as the weekend goes on, because I don't know about everyone else, but I'm still just trying to figure out the shots to set up for this gap.
Yeah, I actually like the backhand off the tee more, and the old hole I used to like the sidearm more.
Yep. And it's also, I don't know, I feel like this hole definitely plays a lot easier than the old hole. I think it's pretty easy to scramble regardless of, as long as you get out that initial fairway.
Yeah, I think you're right. Again, so this is like the third hole that they've changed. No, Owen splashes out on the right for par. This is the third hole that they've changed, and all of them make it about a stroke easier, at least half a stroke.
Okay, now that we're done with hole 12, we won't talk just incessantly the entire time.
Listen, it's a new hole. It's very exciting. We're trying to figure out what's happening. And you're right. We should pay attention.
We're back to the disc golf now, okay?
Billy Rossini and I go back to 2007, I believe. Billy was one of the guys that was actually sponsored in Charlotte by Innova. He said, hey, here's my product, and I was already in. All the scoring that we do in our sport now is all digital. Having some sort of backup power source is gonna be really important. We feel that it's good quality product. And having the stash pack that holds the cable that connects to any device, it just works. It's not just my business partner, it's my friend. And so that's why this thing really works for me.
Hole 13, the famous Y hole, also the hardest hole of the day. Your only option here is to go through that Y gap. You're throwing over and out of bounds creek during that whole thing, so if you catch any tree branches, you can drop down out of bounds very quickly. Your second shot is through all of these trees that the drone's flying through. There's about a million different gaps. You just kind of pick your poison. There is out of bounds in a creek all the way down the left-hand side. If you catch a tree and kick left, you're pretty much going to be out of bounds. This hole was new last year, correct?
Yeah, they lengthened it last year, correct?
Yep, and it used to be just kind of a hyzer, and you just follow that hyzer line into an island green. It definitely made the whole play more difficult.
So much more difficult. It used to be, honestly, kind of eagleable. Macie's she kicked left, then right, then dropped. If you are gonna go OB short, the right side is probably slightly better, but they're both awful.
But going at this tee shot, you don't really get a choice of where you're going out of bounds.
Nope.
It's kind of like a plinko. You're just letting your disc do what
See
it does.
happens. I liked the old position for FPO. You didn't really see too many eagles, but like it was possible. And now you can get the birdie for sure with 2 unbelievable shots. Here's a really good one from Holyn.
But even where she's landing there, she's not quite far enough to super
Yeah,
attack.
you kind of want to hyzer more, I think, to
Yes.
attack. But it's risky.
It is risky.
So I think they either put the pin back where it was for FPO, or I think if they just put a drop zone past, if you land OB, like past it, it would be a great hole.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
If you happen to kick and drop.
Yeah, because we're going to see some weird shots here. Owen got out of the gap really, really nicely. And this is what I was saying. Like right side, it's a little more feasible to get up and down. But even then, like you're thrilled with a bogey if you drop early on this hole.
Yeah, it's pretty much an instant bogey at best.
At best. They call it the Y hole because you drop short and you go, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why? Catrina with a pretty friendly lie as well.
And a really nice sidearm.
Yeah, especially with from a standstill. It's great power. Holyn gonna have to throw something really stable and probably get a flare skip to get to the pin. Dang
She's
it.
also throwing out of bounds. So if she
Yeah.
pushes too far straight, she's very easily going to find herself in the creek.
And you can see if you haven't watched this tournament before, to the left, there's that kind of faux green, that like felt type stuff with the logs. So you can see how much shorter it was. They lengthened it by, see there, we're past Holyn. They lengthened it by what, like almost 200 feet.
Yeah.
150 easily.
Holyn throwing her third.
Wow. What a shot.
She'll be just outside the bullseye for par. Par feels great here. 44% of the field got a bogey or worse.
Oof.
A third of that taking doubles and a third taking triples, sorry.
Wow, Macie throwing 4, and it's pretty densely wooded over there, but she gets through nicely.
Catrina making this hole look very easy to recover from.
I was going to say, after the tee. Oh, dang. Own long look for 3. Would have been cool if she made that. And what a great bogey save.
Yeah.
And that might sound sarcastic, but it is so heartfelt. Because, man, you drop short and it's just a freaking nightmare.
Own missing a putt and still managing to get a par. That's so impressive. Only 14% of the field got to circle 1, only 19 to circle 2.
I got to shout out Sarah Gilpin on my card. Hit a circle 2 putt for a birdie. Played it super clean. It was awesome.
She was one of only 3 on the day. Cadence Burge and Jessica Weiss also getting the birdies. Catrina and Macie with excellent bogey saves after going out of bounds. And then we have Owen and Holyn with pars. Solid.
Madison and Valerie still leading the way at 4 down. Whew, here we go. Another really hard one, hole 14. You got to go through that 10-foot gap. Sidearms really common, backhand works. You're trying to get all the way to this corner, and then you are trying to get through all of these fairway trees. You can see the OB wraps around, like to the left, and then as a creek that wraps around to the green to the right as well. It is so hard to get a look for birdie on this one. It's possible, but so difficult. You're happy with a par. 13 and 14 are just round ruiners if you do not hit the initial gap.
Hole 13 is the hardest hole of the day. Hole 14 is the second hardest. So back-to-back brutal.
What a shot from Holyn. She actually goes deep 1,000,000 feet. That is... So she passed the corner like a long time ago. I mean, she's 180 feet past the corner?
Yeah, it's nice to see her not let up at all. Like, she's still just full sending the narrowest gap ever.
Absolutely. That was crazy. And I think it's actually going to be okay over there to go for par at least.
Yeah, she might even be able to send it to the green. Owen trying to flex something through that gap, and she does make it through the gap, but doesn't quite flex it back. But it's a lot easier to scramble from the left side than the right.
Yeah, she hopefully has something for par. Macie with kind of a carbon copy of what Owen just did, actually.
And it is not so bad over there, depending on how deep
They're
into
so
the woods.
fortunate to get through, though, that initial, like, left side gap. Like, that's not a real gap. Katrina doing it, too? That's not the gap.
It's not the gap at all. They all missed the gap, but it kind of worked.
I'm just salty because I hit it. I hit that one.
No one could tell, Erika.
Okay. It's a pretty narrow gap, guys. Katrina with a really nice forehand standstill recovery upshot.
A little short from where you'd like to be, that sun patch.
No.
Wait, there's OB right there?
Is that where it starts? So, because it starts on the left side, where the creek is. That has to be the very start of it.
Yeah, it starts a lot earlier than I knew.
What
and
a
I'm
horrible
glad I
break,
didn't.
though. I mean, Katrina
So-
landed right where Owen landed, pretty much, like on the path, and then
Just got a bad roll.
yeah.
Ideally, you want to land in that sun patch a little bit further from where Catrina was.
Ooh, look at this from Macie. Wow.
Going
wow,
for the
wow,
green?
Wow, 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 wow.
There's not really a gap there.
No. I mean,
That's-
kinda.
Kinda. That was unbelievable.
What a line. Yeah, I mean, just like look at all of the trees in the way. Okay, Macie, I see you. Wow, this is pretty too.
I like this play from Holyn. Didn't look like she was trying to get too aggressive there.
Yeah, it still has a long putt for birdie though, which is generally all you can ask for. Owen catches a tree on a backhand, stays in bounds though.
Only 3 competitors got to circle 2.
Oof.
Oh my goodness. That is
Catrina-
living on the edge of out of bounds.
Drops short and safe. Owen with a saucy little bid. I thought she was going to land in that little ditch right there, which like collects a weird amount of
It
discs.
does. And putting from it is weird also.
Holyn, long jumper for birdie.
Jumping towards the bridge. There is no out of bounds deep of the basket, only short, kind of a horseshoe around. So you can really go for it.
Wow. I'm glad we get to see this again.
Yes.
What a bogey save. And just so unfortunate that she trickled OB on that one shot, but
Because, I mean, she played the hole pretty flawlessly. Just that one little unfortunate
wow.
roll. Not having it.
Just, yep, that's
I don't
hole
blame her.
14. No.
Oh, my goodness.
Brutal. Oh, Jomez. Is this the first one of these we've had?
Yeah, I think so.
That was, yeah, pretty brutal. Pretty dead
right
center.
on the pole.
If you guys don't already know, I'm not a big fan of the word spit out, and I'm pretty critical, but that was a spit out. Macie just missed.
That was just a miss.
Just a miss.
Oh, a little struggling on hole 14. There was one birdie on the day. Emily Beach, lefty, finding the 3.
And she can just throw some of the most technical backhand lines you've ever seen as well.
Yeah, this hole sets up for her game specifically.
Macie and Holyn keeping it under par. All right, Mad, 4 down through 14 still. So is Valerie. Alexis Mandujano at 3.
Hole 15. 300. Wait, I'm sorry. I have not looked at this distance. 387.
Oh, isn't that funny?
That's hilarious because it plays so much
So
longer
far.
than that.
480.
Yeah, and it doesn't show itself on the course map. But this tee shot's very steep uphill. You want to miss to the right of that glowing tree and hopefully push a little bit into the flat. Your second shot is a turnover through a gap. Holyn makes
That's a huge shot.
this. She made this hole look so easy, and it's just not.
You're going to see this stump as we get up there, and that's a good landing zone, and Holland's 50 feet past it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Ooh.
Macie catching that left tree and kicking down.
Ooh.
You can still rescue a birdie even from where she is. So we'll see what she has to work with.
I
With her
guess.
sidearm?
With like a really technical, powerful flex sidearm. So, Matt, I saw that it said 387 on the tee today. And I was like, no way. This is under 400? Because it plays at least 450, if not farther.
It makes me feel like a chump because this hole is hard, you know?
It is hard. I mean,
Holyn didn't make it look hard, but Owen laying up or throwing her drive to where most of our drives
that's
land.
a good drive. And Catrina got up to the right distance, but is a little pinch left. Yeah, I didn't think Macie had a chance here. And
Looks like this.
she has a chance from here.
Yep.
So hard, though.
She makes it through the initial
Wow. Macie.
gap. Wow.
Her upshots are just looking incredible.
So good. That took so much power too. It's very uphill, and while it does level out a little bit and maybe even go downhill, it requires so much forward progression in order to get to the green.
It does. I choose the backhand if I can take it because it really is quite a powerful sidearm for how short the distance is.
Yeah, the backhand makes way more sense, but
But the shape,
the shape is the forehand.
Own second shot, going more of a pure hyzer than a flex, and just parks it. Just go ahead and park that
Look at
thing.
all that power. I can't believe the distance on this.
Just
That
look at her.
blew my mind.
What's funny though is like she's still not to the pin. That's only 387 feet away. She still had to throw 25 feet.
Yeah. Nice little approach. Catrina's third. Just gonna pitch something up to the green.
This one, so 13, 14 are two of the hardest holes, but then 15 through 18, you can birdie all of them. And you usually want to because, boy, you just came from some hard holes.
Macie a little short on her par save. Bummer.
Holyn, easiest hole in the world is kind of the statement she's putting out, kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yep.
Is she yawning? Yeah, Catrina misses left side for her par.
37% of the field taking a birdie on this one. It played as the third easiest hole of the day. So to see some bogeys on our feature card is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You come off 13, 14, you're like, I can get 15. I can do it. Own and Holyn with some fantastic birdies there. Holyn going to move up the leaderboard a bit with that one. Alexis Medijano, Caden Spurge, Lucky Lorenzen, and Emily Beach all at 3 down. Hole 16, it's a par 5, true par 5 at 969 feet. Usually a headwind. There's OB lining the left side. I thought it was both. It's both sides. You want to throw a hyzer to the top of the hill we passed. Second shot, you want to land at least even with this bush on the right that we just passed, if not farther. And then second shot, if you don't land far enough third shot. If you don't land far enough, this approach shot is blind. There's another creek around the OB. The OB wraps around the logs on the back of the green. It's a teeny tiny little green. You really, if you're attacking on the third, you want to be past that big bush that's right in front of Holyn, so you can see the pin. And then you see a lot of ladies lay up short and give themselves circle 2. Looks similar to hole 6 that we saw earlier.
Yeah, this green is brutal though because it is technically an island. So if you blast past it, you are out of bounds. So it's really difficult. It's so steeply downhill to make your disc land softly.
Holyn with a smash of a drive, Own in a more typical landing zone. You really don't need huge distance on the first 2 shots to be able to attack because there's so much elevation loss on the third shot. And this one's risky. Just with that headwind, sometimes you just get flipped out of bounds. And then it's really hard to save.
Picking up just an overstable driver and just ripping it on hyzer is nice and safe. It does make it a little more difficult on your second shot, though, because you're throwing right at that bush that Erika was talking about getting past.
Trying to hyzer right before it.
Definitely makes you think more on the second shot. Catrina really dumbing it down, just going sky hyzer over the right side.
Very spiky. So Own going to throw, well, probably a flex, but right at that bush, essentially, trying to fade before it to the left. This is risky. There's OB right there, and she found it. And now she's probably going to be kind of behind the bush, and saving par is going to be kind of a miracle. Catrina making kind of the opposite mistake. It's a little too hyzered, but safe.
Yeah, it doesn't.
A little soft, though.
Yeah, she doesn't try to bite off much distance. I like on the tee shot being left so you can attack a little bit more.
I agree.
You can see Macie a little bit more left. She's able to go a little bigger, hyzer. She is going towards out of bounds, but has plenty of room to work over there.
She's going to crest the hill, too, and be able to see the pin and attack on the third. Holyn probably just going for the eagle, going over the bush. Like, I'm kind of serious, dude. Look at how she was lined up. The camera people are like, "What? We've never seen this before. Look at this. I can't even.
I thought you were being like sarcastic
No.
and being funny, but that is incredible.
No, you could tell in her body language and the way she was lined up. That's unbelievable.
I wonder how far that drive was.
6,000 feet. Okay, but for real, I mean, she threw maybe 400 off the tee, but probably less. So that was like a 500 something foot shot.
Yeah, with the help of the
downhill,
hill,
yeah.
but still over OB the whole way.
Wow. Own with a solid forehand gets herself to, we'll call it 90 feet or so. Catrina likely just laying up. There is some OB on the left.
She plays that a lot shorter than I anticipated.
I don't know if she's just playing for par or what. The last two shots have been pretty chill. I mean, this one she was playing for par, obviously, but the last shot was pretty conservative. Macie with I believe that's her Tour Series Justice. Just trying to chip up short and get a long putt. That was well done. Dude, I want Holyn to freaking run this thing.
I know.
I cannot believe, I mean, I can. I can't believe it. It was just so cool.
I just didn't know it was possible from there.
I saw her line it up and I just like didn't think it was going to work. I doubted and I shouldn't have. And I'm sorry.
Nice little brick from Own, keeping her from going out of bounds deep. Oh my God, so impressive.
Wow. Now I just wonder if we'll see an eagle on this hole. It seems like it.
Yep.
Someday. Maybe tomorrow. Wow, Macie with like an actually good run.
Yeah,
we give her
heck
a
yeah.
hard time because she's our friend and we love her. But like that was legit. Just a little low.
Yep, full sending. Own gonna have to settle for bogey after the OB. Only 12% of the field getting birdies on this one. That's only 5 birdies on the day. Holyn gonna have a pretty no-nonsense birdie. Macie gonna have to settle for par. Missing that circle 2 putt. I know she's bummed. Through hole 16, Holyn with a 3-stroke lead over the rest of the feature card competitors.
Yeah, but stop being all humble. Madison Walker, Valerie Manduhano, 5 freaking down.
Hole 17, 287, par 3. Look at all of this out of bounds. This creek winds all the way through the fairway. It's just like the Y hole, but flatter and shorter. This green is a little, not island, but it's got out of bounds all the way around the short side and deep side. So if you come in too hot on that artificial turf, you can skip very easily.
Ongoing standstill. Missing to the left side. She's trying to go to the right side of that first tree. She does get a kick out of bounds.
If you go over the creek and miss anywhere past about 100 feet off the tee pad, it's actually safe in the bushes on the left side. So I understand
just
all in
brutal,
shot.
though. I think Macie has the right idea here. I think sidearm is the safest because there's like more land on the right once you get pin high.
And that was such a good shot, too. She's even going to have a putt for birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina doing the same, a little bit, a nice little friendly roll.
It stops.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, solid shot there. You're not going to get all the way across and parked with the sidearm, but I think it's probably the highest percentage play to stay in bounds. And since I said that, let's see if Owen parks it. No, she's going to hyzer. Also a good shot.
Yep. The forehand, I think, is the best play here. There is a backhand route as well. It's just so risky.
It's so risky. I throw the backhand and I just know it's a 2 or a 4. Oh, man, that was a good bid from Holyn.
Did it stay on the green?
She catches a tree and no, she went OB. Trina, long look for a birdie here. Oh, ramps off the top.
Oh, my goodness.
Dang it.
That's so brutal.
Dumb little fairy little green. All magical in the woods and stuff. Accept the putts. Accept them.
Oh, and just a little high again, but dead center.
Hers sits at least. Macie for the last chance on the card to get a birdie.
Come on, Mace.
Yes. Yes.
Yay.
That's great.
21% of the field got birdies on this? What?
Sweet.
That's high. That's higher than we have ever seen.
Yeah, it's great. People are getting good, dog.
Yes, they are.
Holyn taking a double, though. Ouch. It stinks.
It's always one of these holes that just snake bites you when you least expect it. Yeah. 42% of the field taking a bogey or worse on this one, so it'll happen.
Got a 2, 3, 4, and 5 on that hole. It's wild. What a great putt from Macie.
Yes.
Macie and Holyn tied for 5th. Madison, Jesus.
Yeah, I got that 17 birdie. I was very
Wow.
excited.
Hole 18. It's a par 5, 650 feet, so kind of a soft par 5. Most women going to throw kind of short to the top of the hill. They cleared out a lot of the trees on the left at the end of the gap, so it allows for more aggressive second shots and hyzers. And then, yeah, if you get out the second gap on the second shot, it's a relatively simple approach. It's a low ceiling with those 2 trees. If you land in them, they will smack you down. There's no chance of getting through them.
This used to be one of the hardest holes ever,
Yeah.
but clearing out this left side, you can see Macie getting super aggressive off the tee. That's not something that anyone would have done because that
Or if
left
you
side,
did, it was just high, so risky.
Yeah,
you
well,
saw it occasionally.
the left side was just so brutal that it could be very difficult to get out of. Now it's pretty cleared out. And
I mean, it's still not easy. I still
No.
think the play is like straight shot or like pretty little understable flexi shot like Owen is doing, or a putter or a mid-range.
this just used to average over par, even with the kind of softer par 5.
Yeah. I think the left's huge bush tree thing that they took out at the end of the gap makes a bigger difference than clearing out the left side
Early.
early,
I could see.
personally.
Yeah, where Catrina just landed, you still, while you're not going to be able to be super aggressive out the gap, you can still recover and get a par very easily. Holyn probably going huge here.
Yeah, this is what she threw on 15. It appears to be just like the straightest mid-range in the entire world. So far.
Wow.
Just so far.
Way over the
Sorry,
hill.
she threw it on 16, excuse me.
So you can see Catrina can't get super aggressive out the gap here
Yes.
because it's pinched a little, but
But she can throw... Oh, okay. I was going to say, I really like the skip shot from there. Or
Oh.
you just throw an air hyzer shot. But you can see where she just skipped. That used to all be jail.
that shot just blew my mind. It's so pinched, and she just made it look so easy.
Yeah, it is easy. I really thought the only way to get out was a skip shot. Because this is... Oh, Owen's going to do it too? I was going to say, this is more typical. Like,
Yes.
pretty difficult
Kind
to...
of taking some off and just trying to land in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Macie going to try to chop through the left side. She's far enough down. And there's room over there. She'll be on the long side of the trees and in the wide open, maybe even able to get a distant sidearm to the green.
Holyn probably thinking eagle because she's Holyn.
Ugh, what a brutal bounce.
Yeah.
She'll still be able to.
It actually
save
looked like
par.
she was birdie. She was chilling and just trying to get the birdie. Dang, that's a horrible kick. Yep, looking like hopefully just a simple par for Holyn. She's still 1 under, lots of birdies. Again, I mean, last year, round 1, I think the best round was 1 over. Second round was 1 under. Third round was 3 under. And it is playing a few strokes easier with the changes. What a great shot from Macie on her third.
Wow.
But still, under par out here is phenomenal.
Owen overturning her shot to the green. She'll be up on the hill. It's still some work left to do. She was hoping for that birdie.
Catrina looking for that birdie as well, looking like she's going out and around the tree with a sidearm.
Super smart play.
Beautiful.
Well executed.
This is the between the trees play. Really got to control that height.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Holyn looking so just like comfortable and smooth today.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to break into a dance at any moment also.
Please tune into the front nine. for more background info on Holyn's breakdancing. Macie for birdie.
Yes, birdie birdie finish. Love it. That gets Macie to 2 down.
Solid.
Ah, Catrina. Hits off the top for her par save. She's going to end up +6. Do you remember how many FPO competitors we have? It's somewhere in the realm of 50, but I can't quite remember. So,
It is 42. No, 43.
okay, a little lower than we've been seeing.
Surprising.
All right, so, whew, what a whirlwind that course is.
Yeah, this
Oh,
year.
Catrina ending at +5. Excuse me, that was her birdie putt that she missed.
This year, the course averaged at just 4 strokes over par, playing a little easier than years past, for sure, for the FPO field.
Let's talk about Madison Walker, why she appears to be humble. I'll brag for her. She shot 6 down. It was sick, everyone. It was so clean, so good. Valerie Mandujano, 5 down. Alexis Mandujano, 4 down. And Cadence Burridge, 2 down. So
Yep. That'll be our lead card tomorrow going into round 2. There was a little rain in the forecast. Do we know if that's still happening?
it seems like it might be in the afternoon. So we'll see what that is like. Could be kind of a rough go at it. We don't know.
And it looks like to be in the top 20, you need to be around 2 over par. That's what we've seen on lead cards in the past. So this is very impressive. The FPO field, once again, just shooting lights out.
And some good changes to the course.
Yeah, some really nice changes.
Stand up, take a bow.
Thanks to the tournament staff for really prepping this course, making it look lovely. It's really nice to be back in the woods. Thanks to our Patreon subscribers. Thanks to Jomez. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. For the 2 Hockeys.
Honk.